Let's look at the headlines for now. We send it back to Steve, and a very Seattle feeling over there on that other set there,
just
Steve.
a couple of former Seattle Mariner All-Stars, and the true story is I was shining these guys' shoes 16 years ago. I was a bat boy. Your rookie season with the Mariners. You were getting another Gold Glove at second base. So we're going to talk baseball coming up. Boy, it's a long time since
then. He went to the Yankees.
Can you believe it? All right, so Tino and Harold coming up to talk about opening day injuries, the hit streak with Jimmy Rollins, what happened with Barry Bonds, what he can expect throughout the year, and much, much more. Got a great pitching matchup tonight with Johan Santana and Roy Halladay. Then just a couple of former All-Stars and me. This is living the life. Harold Reynolds, Tino Martinez, new to the baseball family here at ESPN, and joining us on the hot list to break down.
Welcome aboard, Tino.
Yeah, welcome aboard, Tino.
I'm enjoying being here. Thank you.
Bristol's the same as the Bronx, right?
Just a little bit different out here. A little more quieter.
A little different kind of pressure cooker.
The first day or so is all right.
It's been awesome. It's been awesome. I'm a little nervous and trying to get myself comfortable, but it's been great. I'm trying to learn this new gig and get going with it.
Well, we're certainly throwing you into the fire with Barry Bonds and everything that's been going on in the offseason. Last night, or opening day, goes 1 for 4 with a double, and we all saw the images, the fan throwing the syringe on the field, the boos, numerous signs. I want to get your guys' reaction when you saw the syringe hit the field. Harold, let's start with you.
Well, there's no place for it in baseball. That was my reaction. You can hold up all the signs you want, boo, yell, scream, whatever you want to do, but when you start throwing things on the field or even running out on the field, then you're looking for problems, because that's when players start getting hurt and players have to defend themselves and retaliate, and then it all gets ugly for everybody. So just keep things in the stands, as far as I'm concerned. And
Tino, you were in a bit of a whirlwind, a hurricane last year with Jason Giambi and what he was going through in a somewhat similar situation in New York. How did you guys handle that in the locker room, behind the scenes from the media?
Well, you basically got to support your teammate. Jason Giambi went through a lot last year, on and off the field, and he did a great job of handling it. He went out there, he played good, hard baseball. The team rallied around him. We just told him, hey, we're behind you. Just keep playing hard every day. We'll take care of everything else. The media will write what they're going to write. Just focus on your game and just concentrate on that. He did a great job. It took him a little time getting through the first half of the season, but once he got comfortable and started to avoid the distractions, he just got hot and had a great season.
Well, he went through a lot with the steroid stuff. How would you handle if you were a teammate like what Barry's going through right now with Jason? How'd you guys handle that when people were signs and they're yelling steroids and all that stuff? What'd you say to him?
Well, we stuck behind Jason, and if anybody knows Jason, he's a great guy. And he enjoyed it. He didn't enjoy it, but he had fun with it. When guys would, yell steroids at him, he'd flex his muscles, and he would just joke around back and forth, and it basically shut him up. But people just shut up after a while, and he kind of just went along with the fans. He knew what he was in for, what they were going to give him, but they didn't throw anything at him.
From Barry,
They did not throw anything at him. The throwing things in the field is totally offline.
Well, Barry Bonds and what he's going through and his ability to focus on the field, love him or hate him and believe what people want to believe, and people are very polarized by him. In terms of what he can do on a field, what is it about his ability to kind of block that out, Harold, that separates him?
He's got an extraordinary focus, and I think he's an amazing confidence that Barry has to be the best, and he knows what he's capable of doing. I think we're seeing in the last 5 years a guy who is at an age where he understands his abilities, and when you get to that age, and Tino can talk about that too, when you get to a certain point where you realize, here's what they're going to throw me, here's how I want to approach it, here's what I want my body to do, nothing's going to stop you. And that's what we're seeing from Barry. That's why he knows he's great. You can yell whatever you want to yell at him. He's got such a great focus and such a great confidence.
It's going to be a long season for Barry Bonds and the Giants, but so far for him, 1 for 4 with a double. Now, Jimmy Rollins, he also had a double in his final at bat last night against the St. Louis Cardinals. Just the first time, I believe, in his career that he ever swung, or maybe the second time that in his career he swung at a 3-0 pitch, was kind of interesting. So a 37-game hit streak. All right, Tino, which would be harder in your mind, if he can keep it up for 56 games, to do it over 2 seasons with a break, or to just keep it up for 3 months straight?
I think it's harder to do it over 2 seasons with a break. Once you get in that groove of hitting in 36 straight games, you're in the flow of the season, you have your routine down packed. Now he's coming out of spring training, he's trying to get himself going again, and if he's got a good swing from the get-go, it's still going to be tough. 56 games is a long hitting streak, whether you do it over 1 season or 2, but this break in the season, starting over again, is going to make it a little bit tougher on him.
How did you try to start a season well? What was the key?
Well, you just hope you have a good spring training. The last 10 days, you want to feel comfortable at the plate. You hope you see the ball well. You're hitting the ball the other way. You're staying back on every pitch. And hopefully for him, he felt good yesterday. He got that 1 hit, which was huge. And hopefully now he'll get going, but it's going to be tough.
And Harold, as a middle infielder, what do you see when you see Jimmy Rollins?
I celebrate. The interesting thing about Jimmy Rollins, he's not your traditional middle infielder type. You look at him physically, he doesn't bunt. You know, a lot of guys that size, I know myself, I would bunt a lot, look for a different opportunity to hit Omar Vizquel type of game. But Jimmy likes to swing the bat, and you know, he's going to have to swing 3-0 and do the certain things he's doing. I think it's very difficult what he's going through right now to split seasons. I was on the other side of it before. I was thinking, straight through a season, 56, that's where it's at. But now he's got to start over. Remember, he's not only trying to get in a groove, he's facing pitchers that are fresh now. Those guys that were tired in August and September when you get a chance to beat up on them a little bit, now they're all fresh, and that's a little bit tougher.
One of the pitchers who was fresh but didn't show it last night was Barry Zito, who got hammered. The shortest outing of his career, just an inning and a third against the Yankees. They destroy him 15-2. And A-Rod with a grand slam. And you played with A-Rod in what is an MVP year. But as you know as well as anyone, you had some huge postseason at-bats for the Yankees. How important is it for Yankees fans for him to put up this kind of numbers and production in the postseason compared to in April?
Well, that's what it's all about, playing in New York. It's all about the postseason. And he won the MVP last year. He had a great season. I think that's going to help him relax this year, be a little more comfortable at the plate. But it all comes down to the postseason in New York. He's got to have a great postseason this year, hopefully win the World Series. And if he does that, the next couple of years in New York, he's just going to take off and have huge years again.
Well, what about when you performed in the postseason first time in New York and then the next time? Did it get easier every time for you?
It got easier after we won the World Series the first time. Once you win the World Series, I didn't play very well in the World Series my first year, but none of the Yankee fans know that. All they know is the Yankees won the World Series, and I was on that team. From that point on, they supported me, they got behind me, and it made my next year in New York easier, and all my postseasons after that easier.
Well, Harold Reynolds, Tino Martinez, for me, personal honor and pleasure interviewing you guys after shining your shoes a decade and a half ago. And Tino, welcome to the family.
Thank you.
And much more from you guys all season long on the Hot List, and baseball tonight as well. Still to come, talking with Bears running back Thomas Jones. Talk about what went right and what went wrong for the Bears last season and what's going to happen in 2006. Barry Bonds says his 16-year-old son Nikolai promised him he'd do well on his finals if Barry hit a home run on Sunday. Father came through, leaving son to the books. But where will Barry Bonds go down in the history books? What will his son's friends read about in 20 years when they Google Barry Bonds? Here's part 2 of his one-on-one interview with ESPN's Jim Gray.
Barry, I'm one.
In Carolina, not in Buffalo. All right, guys, we
it would be quite a story if this was in Buffalo.
It would be, too. Yeah. Now, we've had all of our guests finish off their interviews here because it's the night of the spelling bee with a challenge of who to spell. So we're going to start with you, EJ. We'll put you on the spot first. Now, you're in the business, so we expect big things from you.
Media.
Sabres
Game
right
7.
winger, Maxim Afinogenov. Go.
What is that? Afinogenov.
And the first name?
Maxim.
Did he get it?
He got it, Coach. All right.
EJ.
Yeah,
All right,
well,
EJ, 1 for 1.
You learn how to spell the hard ones.
All right, now we're going to put Coach on the spot. Cam Ward. No, I'm kidding. K-A-M. No. All right, so you got Cam Ward. Ilya Brizgalov, the Sharks goalie.
Ilya Brizgalov.
Come on, Coach. Yes.
I-L-Y-A.
Yes.
That's it.
B. Come on.
R.
Yes. He's cheating.
Y.
He's looking at the monitor.
Z.
Our fans can see that, Coach. All right, what about you, EJ? Can you see monitor? Are you going to be cheating?
No, I can't see.
All right, give me Ryan Smith, something like that.
What do you think, EJ? Can you give us Brizgalov?
I think let me give it a shot. It's B-R-Y-Z.
I think he's looking at the monitor, too.
G-A-L-O-V, something like that.
That's actually
He
pretty
is
good.
looking at a monitor.
No,
But I'll
I'm
tell you
not.
what, if you guys had to skate around each other, I'll take you, Coach.
Thank you very
10
much.
times
Take
better.
the
Spelling
coach
is
in
not my
that
strong point.
Barry Melrose and EJ Raddick, we appreciate you guys helping
Could you
us
give
out.
me that in a sentence, please?
Yes, I just spelled Ilya Brizgalov. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you later on tonight on ESPN News.
Thanks very much.
Before we let you go, we're asking each of our guests on the hot list today to spell the name of somebody in their genre because it is the National Spelling Bee here in the United States tonight. It's a big deal. So we were asked, Marco Andretti did pretty well. Sam Hornish Jr. not so much. We gave him Ari Leyendyke. For you, Nigel Mansell.
I've got to spell his name?
Yep, first and last.
Oh, that's easy. N-I-G-E-L and then M-A-N-S-E-L-L.
See, that's what I thought you'd get him. All right, how about Ayrton Senna, the Brazilian late F1 driver?
A-Y-R-T-O-N and then S-E-N-N-A.
Wow, this guy's good. We got.
Come on.
If racing.
I'm European. I invented the English language. Or not me personally, but my country.
I tell you what, Dan, well, then if racing doesn't work out for you, wink, wink, spelling might be in your future as well. So don't give either one of those up. All right, we certainly appreciate the time, Dan, and thanks for joining us, and best of luck this weekend at Watkins Glen.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And before we let you go, Mark Stein, we're putting all of our guests on the hot list to the test. It's National Spelling Bee Day. Now, you're a huge soccer fan. We know that. Our viewers may not, but the World Cup is starting soon. So we figured you'd get any NBA guy we throw at you. So we're throwing a defender on the USA World Cup team at you. Oguchi Onyewu.
Oh, wow. I plead total ignorance. I know it starts with an O.
Okay, well, you got to at least take a stab. You're on TV.
Say
here.
Say his name
All
again.
right, first name Oguchi. Easier than you think.
O-G-U-C-H-I.
All right, you got that. Last name Onyewu.
O-N-E-Y-U.
You got the letters just a little bit out of order. O-N-Y-E-W-U. But we know you're going to be.
I made a decent run at it.
Considering you're out of your sport.
That's not my team, so.
Right. Well, wait, Team USA is not your team. Who's your team?
Well, my team did not make it. Israel was just nosed out in qualifying.
They actually were pretty close.
But I will be a very interested neutral watching every game. Don't worry.
Mark Stein, senior writer for ESPN.com. He knows his NBA, and look out, he knows his soccer as well. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the game tonight.
All right, Steve.
Oh, that's great. Love to see that. Coming up, you'll love to see this. Roger Clemens. What does Bino Cook think about Rockets' return? He's not necessarily too thrilled with it. Find out why coming up.
Colts lost to the Steelers 21-18. You saw Mike Vanderjag's field goal miss that he had earlier. After the game, Manning took an indirect shot at his offensive line.
All this time in playoff games, y'all going to ask me questions about other areas and other positions, and it's obviously I'm not I'm trying to be a good teammate here. Let's just say we had some problems in protection.
He was struggling to not say what he really wanted to say. That was Peyton following last year's loss. Now, today, quarterback back on the field with his offensive line filming a commercial for DirecTV. And on ESPN News, Steve Bunin asked Manning about his relationship with the line now on today's edition of the Hot List.
Now, you're filming this with the offensive lineman, and the last time that you were in all the headlines and all the highlights was after that playoff loss to the Steelers. You're under pressure all day long. And you made all those headlines.
That's sort of that's kind of old story, old news. And we're sort of right in the middle of 2006. Like I said, we're right in the middle of our mini camps. We've had all these practices, and we got our new team coming in. We've lost some players last year due to free agency, but we lost Edgerrin James, and we lost David Thornton, lost Mike Vanderjagt, and so we're in the middle right now of trying to sort of build our team chemistry for the 2006 season. But we're here working hard right now. Like I said, we did practice and work out this morning. I promise you, we never do a commercial in spite of a workout. But we're excited about our team upcoming this year, and looking forward to a good 2006.
Let me ask you one question, then we'll let it go. But was there anything you said to the boys to just let them guys know, look, got taken out of context, anything like that?
Well, like I said, I think they all understood that it was just kind of a deal that it was blown up, and I've always taken full responsibility for everything that I've done, and that's what I was doing that day. I never blame anybody else for anything.
Manning just 3-4 in the playoffs over the last 5 seasons, and his play and wins his